Hi, this is Alex from phpacademy.org, and this is a tutorial for the New Boston. Now, in this tutorial we're going to be learning to read data from a file, but obviously when you're reading data from a file it's not always on a line-by-line basis. You might find that you've got commas separating your values, and in this case we've got a few names here with commas separating each value. Now, how do we deal with reading this in? Now, we've already seen examples of reading in file data, but for now what we want to do is we want to create a handle, as we've done previously. I've got this names.txt up here, but I'm just going to close it so it doesn't interfere with our program. I don't want to change anything inside. So handle equals fopen, and we want to pick a file to open, which is names.txt. And we're gonna open this for reading, so we're going to use an R here. Okay, now what we're going to do is we need to create a way to read the contents of the file, echo the contents of the file, and that's the first stage I'm going to take, just echoing out the contents to the PHP page. At the moment it looks like this, nothing's really happening. So how do we do this? What we do is we echo fread, and we take the handle in there. Now the second argument in this is the amount of data we want to read in. For now I'm just going to type 1000 just to make sure we read in all the characters. However, well, let's refresh first and you can see we've taken in all the data from the names.txt file. From Alex to Sandra, we've taken in all the data and we're displaying it. Now I don't want to read in 1000 bits or I think it's bytes. I'm not too great with that, but this is the amount of data it's reading in. Could be characters, I'm not sure, but it's something to look up. So I want to take in the file size rather than keep specifying. You know, if I was reading in a massive long file, I might say, oh, we'll just read in that amount of characters. You're wasting it doesn't look neat either. So what I want to do is I want to use a function called file size and then handle. So basically all this is doing is taking in the file size and reading in the file as a whole, not any more, not any less. So let's see if that's worked. Right, okay, so basically what we've done is as opposed to reading in you know, a particular file, we're reading in this open file. So what we need to do up here is we need to specify the file name. So I'm going to specify the file name as names.txt. That means that down here I can replace this with file name, and then I can replace this with file name as well. So now let's refresh and we should have that file up. Okay, so just to show you an example, if I wanted to only read in, say, 5, we'd just get the first 5 characters of that. So always use this file size and it will just open the exact amount of data within your file. Okay, so we don't want to echo this out, but what we do want to do is put it in a variable. So I'm going to call this variable data in. Now what we want to do with this is we want to split it up, and the character we want to split from is commas. So let's refresh again. Oh no, echo that out and refresh. Now we want to split it up through commas, and we use a function here called explode. So I'm going to say names array equals explode. What we do is we use we tell PHP the character we want to explode it with, and then we read in the what we want to explode. So if, for example, in here we had Alex, Billy, Dale, okay, and we wanted to explode that, we'd just be left with an array with Alex, Billy, and Dale. But because we've got this data in variable with our data in, I mean, that's what we want to read in. We want to read in this, and we want Alex in an array element, Billy, Peter, Dale. So if we refresh, nothing's happened, no errors have occurred, which is fine. Now to test this, we can use the for each, and we can say for each names array as name, and what we want to do is echo name, and then we just append a break onto that. So essentially what we're doing is we're converting this file from a comma delimited file to a line by line, echoing it out to our browser and displaying the data to our browser. So if we refresh, hopefully that should work. Okay, so you can see that they're now on a line by line basis. Now there's one thing that you need to notice when dealing with these files, is that they do actually have extra spaces on, I believe. So let's just add a dot in there to test that. Oh no, they don't. Okay, that's absolutely fine, that's worked well. Okay, so we've now got this data that's been read in on a comma line file, so we've used explode. And we've read this in as an array. So now what we can do is we can do anything we like with this data because it's in an element of an array. For example, let's just get rid of this. If I wanted to say echo names array and say the the first element of the array, so the array with a key of 0, the key 0 has the value Alex because it's the first name in the list. So we're just reducing that down and printing out Alex, or echoing out Alex. So you can do anything you like with this data now that it's in an array, and we've done that simply by the explode function using a comma to say, oh yeah, it's separated by comma. If it was separated by spaces, you could just use a space in here. And then just reading in the data just here. So that's how simple it is to read in sort of comma separated values within a file.